Welcome to Chapter 10, Part 2. In this lecture, we'll take a look at designer amphetamines, cocaine, and caffeine. So, what are designer amphetamines? These are substances that are synthesized by underground chemists, with the parent chemical being amphetamine or methamphetamine. And many of these substances are very similar to the parent chemical, may differ by just a single element. And for a long time, these designer amphetamines were legal. And now, I believe all of the substances listed on this slide, with the exception of mephedrone, are Schedule I substances, meaning no medical use, cannot be used in a medical setting or prescribed. And mephedrone is illegal to consume, manufacture, or possess under the Substance Analog Enforcement Act of 1986, which makes illegal any substance that is similar in structure or psychological effect to any substance already scheduled, if it is manufactured, possessed, or sold with the intention that it be consumed by human beings. So that is how designer amphetamines or designer drugs in general are illegal through this Analog Enforcement Act. So let's take a look at some specific designer amphetamines. MDMA, I believe, is the one you're most familiar with, big on the club scene. We'll talk about that one in the next slide. DOM or STP, this one is similar in structure to amphetamine, but it also has hallucinogenic effects, and many of these designer substances are both stimulant and hallucinogen. That's why we see them in both Chapter 10 and Chapter 12. With DOM or STP, the hallucinogenic effects are more powerful than the stimulant effects. And also, these designer substances are often not known to be highly addictive or highly dependent, but tolerance does occur. So again, not known to be highly addictive or produce physical, psychological dependence, but tolerance does occur. Next is MDA, and MDA is similar in structure to mescaline and amphetamine. This one has been used in the past in psychotherapy to aid patients in being more open and empathetic. Same thing with ecstasy, used in psychotherapy to create a more open experience, and in particular with couples, they tend to be more empathetic toward one another. And there's a lot of research going on, and we'll look at this in Chapter 12 as well, about reintroducing some of these substances into the psychotherapeutic process. MDA also is referred to as the love drug because it enhances our sensory input. These substances that enhance sensory input are referred to as enactogens, especially our sense of touch. Users report that it feels really good to touch, be touched, be affectionate, be around people, empathizing with people. Users also report that it enhances the sexual experience. Methacathinone or CAT is primarily stimulant, and mephedrone is primarily stimulant as well, but does have some of those empathetic properties like MDA or MDMA. Ecstasy is probably the most popular of the designer drugs, popular on the club scene, the rave scene, the music festival scene, and again, this one is both psychedelic and stimulant.
Dopamine, you'll find, is more related to stimulant, while serotonin is more related to hallucinogenic or psychedelic experiences. This one is also an enactogen. And addiction and dependence doesn't often occur with ecstasy, but users report that the withdrawal or come down is pretty bad, where you feel bad psychologically and physically. I've heard the term Suicide Tuesday because the crash is really hard. Next, let's take a look at performance enhancers. So here we're talking about Ritalin, Adderall, and other stimulants. Ritalin and Adderall, or they're by prescription use only, but are often diverted, whereby a friend or family member is taking someone's Ritalin or Adderall prescription. Sometimes the prescribed person is selling their Ritalin or Adderall to friends or the community. And these substances are highly addictive, dangerous, just like cocaine and methamphetamine. The primary use of these are for performance enhancement, as we talked about in class, that many college students, even high school students, are using Adderall, let's say, to prepare for a final exam or to write a paper.